2018 Peugeot 308 Hatchback Review. Pros: good-looking modern hatch. Refreshingly simple interior. Very practical. Excellent running costs. Cons: intense competition. Lack of buttons in cabin. No hybrid or electric version. Could be bigger inside back. If you're looking for a family hatchback, then a Peugeot 308 should be on your list. This talented all-rounder is much more than a match to the goat of various Ford Focus, Vauxhall Astra and Volkswagen Golf. This may be the second-generation 308 after Peugeot ditched its technique of increasing the third volume of its model names by one if your model was replaced. From now on, each new Peugeot can easily with 08. There's no particular big good reason that you should buy this Peugeot, rather quite a few smaller reasons that soon add up to a compelling case for that 308 since your next new car. As any family knows, you need great practicality, low running costs plus a real good value price tag. The 308 is claimed to achieve the biggest boot trolling around in its class, and it may stow much more luggage than its rivals. Mild Peugeot 308 refresh for 2017. Compare the pre- and post-facelift versions with the 308 and you'll be hard-pressed to inform the difference, reflecting the success in the car's original design. Pore over it in greater detail and you'll spot how the grille's more upright and it's flanked by tweaked headlights who have LED daytime running lights on all models. There are larger grills from the lower bumper to enhance engine cooling too. Inside, the multimedia touchscreen is tweaked to restore more responsive, as the onboard technology's been upgraded. Notably, the adaptive cruise control presently has a braking function. Low running costs. Running pricing is kept low as a result of frugal and low-emission diesel and petrol engines, using the 1.2-liter petrol and 1.6-liter diesel particularly kind to wallets. That selection of updates in 2017 also brought a more refined 1.5-liter Bluety 130 diesel with an 8-speed automatic gearbox designed to the 2.0-liter Bluety 180 diesel, which aimed at lowering costs. The range includes 5 trim levels: Active, Allure, GT line replacing the previous Feline, GT and T. The entry-level spec includes lots of tech including sat-nav, parking sensors and air conditioning. Peugeot 308 is impressive. The French manufacturer is back in operation when it comes to hot hatches. Not only would be the smaller 208 a well-regarded steer, greater 308 impresses too. It was given a tweak in 2017, getting a new bonnet, grille and headlights. Nevertheless, the mechanicals remain unchanged, which isn't any bad thing. It is included with a punchy 272 horsepower engine. The 250 horsepower version initially sold alongside it was dropped in 2017, in addition to better brakes along with a mechanical limited slip differential to assist meter out that power hike. Externally, the 308 advantages of subtle styling cues as an alternative to an outlandish body kit along with a touring car spec spoiler, in order to enjoy all of that performance using a grown-up image. High-tech gadgets. The 308 also incorporates a minimalist interior with not many buttons. Instead, a central 9.7-inch touchscreen accesses every one of the car's major functions like climate control, sat-nav and audio, leaving a significantly cleaner and uncluttered central dash. Updates in 2017 brought standard smartphone connectivity with Android Auto, Apple CarPlay and MirrorLink, in addition to improvements in the responsiveness. The verdict: it's fair to express previous Peugeot medium-sized hatchbacks are actually quite forgettable, though this 308, the French manufacturer, is back on winning form. The 308 is stylish and contains very competitive running costs so that it is one on the leading medium family hatchbacks you can purchase. It won't interest all, but we also think the 308 is one in the best from the hot hatchbacks available on the market. Its grippy front differential and under there styling passing it on stealth fighter appeal. Peugeot 308 Hatchback Review. Wide variety of petrol and diesel engines to decide on, from no hybrid or electric versions with improved efficiency. Hot Jet 270 version provides lots of thrills. There's so much choice here. Offering you don't hear is a hybrid or electric car with 4 petrol and 5 diesel engines, including 110 horsepower to 272 horsepower. Mainstream petrol engines. There are 2 power options within the mainstream range, and they are centered around Peugeot's fabulous 1.2-liter, 3-cylinder PureTech motor. It's a favorite triples for the market on account of impressive refinement as well as a slightly larger displacement. Many 3-cylinder units are 1.0-liter, making it more responsive at low revs. The entry-level PureTech 110 version has 110 horsepower, 205 Nm of torque plus a manual gearbox, causing 11.1 seconds 062 miles per hour as well as a top speed of 117 miles per hour. It works well inside the 208 but feels somewhat stretched inside the larger 308, although offers almost diesel-like running costs for low-mileage motorists. Better would be the PureTech 130 version, with 131 horsepower and 230 Nm of torque for the 9.1 second 062 miles per hour time. You can also select a mechanical gearbox, although about half a second slower in the benchmark sprint. Both top out around 125 miles per hour. There's more performance using the 1.6-liter THP 205 petrol with 205 horsepower and also a manual gearbox. With 285 Nm of torque on tap, it hits 062 miles per hour in 7.5 seconds and tops out at 146 miles per hour. It feels you wish these figures suggest, responding quickly and smoothly, yet quiet enough when driving normally. Wide variety of frugal diesel engines. There's more choice here largely because in 2017 Peugeot introduced a 60-minute 5-liter Blue 130 engine that could eventually replace the 1.6-liter motor. Until then they're discounted alongside one another. The only performance figure available up to now is torque minus 300 Nm, which can be exactly the same because the marginally larger version. We can let you know that it feels very flexible and produces a lot less noise versus the older engine, and really should prove popular indeed. Bottom in this range will be the 1.6-liter 99 horsepower Blue 100, which packs 254 Nm of torque and accelerates the slowest coming from all options here, taking 11.3 seconds for getting from 062 miles per hour and maxing out at 116 miles per hour. The puncher 1.6-liter Blue 120 with 120 horsepower seems a greater bet, that has a burlier 300 Nm of torque and faster 062 miles per hour time, 9.7 seconds to the manual and 9.5 for that auto, which has a 122 miles per hour top speed for both. There's to choose Blue 150 horsepower or Blue 181 horsepower through the top 2.0-liter engine, with torque swelling to 370 Nm and 400 Nm, respectively. The lower powered output is usually had using a manual or automatic gearbox, even though the 180 version is auto only. Although the manual Blue 150's 132 miles per hour top speed is 1 mile per hour higher as opposed to automatic, Rogue's is quicker from 062 miles per hour at 8.6 seconds to your manual's 8.9 seconds. The automatic only Blue 180 is only marginally quicker, again having a 137 miles per hour top speed as well as an 8.4 second 062 miles per hour time. Sporty 308 270 by Peugeot Sport topping the range may be the 272 horsepower 270 by Peugeot Sport, which utilizes a more powerful version in the same 1.6-liter THP engine found from the THP 205. Peak torque of 330 Nm is accessible from 1,900 revolutions per minute, allowing this 308 to sprint from 0.62 miles per hour in a mere 6.0 seconds, progressing to a top speed of 155 miles per hour. The GT's throttle response is usually sharpened further by pressing the sport button close to the gear lever. GT versions have this feature also, although effect is less noticeable. Peugeot 308 gearbox. Is no surprise to find that this 308 is provided by both manual and automatic gearboxes. The lowest-powered petrol and diesel engines have a 5-speed manual, even though the rest on the range gains a supplementary cog. It's an uncomplicated thing to make use of but doesn't set any benchmarks regarding precision or enjoyment. The shift action is a little notchy and also the lever's movement into each gear can feel a little bit vague, nevertheless it certainly does the task. A 6-speed automatic gearbox can be acquired on middling power engines and again, it changes gears adequately but isn't especially dynamic. An 8-speeder, introduced in 2017, is best, but only positioned on the top-powered diesel. Discontinued Peugeot 308 engines. The 1.6-liter THP petrol engine was in the past sold in 125 horsepower and 155 horsepower guises. The more efficient petrol is nippy about, easily competent to cruise on motorways and keeps up with all the faster-moving traffic easily. On more twisty back roads we was required to change gear with greater regularity to keep the engine and the torque rear power band, though. A 1.6-liter Eddy diesel with 115 horsepower have also been sold. This doesn't offer a lot of punch low down within the rev range, but builds quickly to offer good overtaking ability and high-speed cruising. Peugeot also initially offered the 308T with 250 horsepower, but this version was dropped so as to focus on the more productive 272 horsepower car from 2017. Comfortable yet assured handling composed with sharp steering can be quite rewarding to push another section of significant improvement, compared to your previous generation. Is the place the 308 handles? Helping this is a 140 kg fat reduction, roughly the same as 2 passengers, as well as the car is now more agile therefore. This agility is accentuated through the small controls which requires less turning action to have the car to improve direction. The suspension is usually impressive, providing a compliant ride and smoothing out bumpy surfaces with no lot of roll when cornering. It certainly is an apparent improvement in the previous generation 308, though if you need a car which is sharper drive an automobile and don't mind a harder ride, accountant Los Angeles cars that will deliver that. What also impressed was hard braking while turning out to be a corner, which would not upset your vehicle and we always felt a lot in control. Impressively agile 308T. For the best in Peugeot 308 handling prowess you'll want the full-fat GT 270 by Peugeot Sport. This car features larger-sized brakes along with a mechanical differential, which will help get because that power documented on the asphalt as is possible. It's this that comes to define what sort of 308 handles. You pitch the leading end into a large part using the fast, reactive steering along with the tires grip hard, allowing the auto to hold its line with full confidence. The feeling over the wheel isn't entirely natural because the diff has a tendency to tug both your hands plus the nose on the car everywhere you look under power, but the aggressive, mechanical sensations are typically part in the experience. Small wheel and high-set dials won't fascinate all clutter-free cabin due to touchscreen functionality. Whether that suits you you aren't, it's at the least a different approach. Two things strike you immediately whenever you nestle into the 308's driver's seat: the small leader in minimalist dash layout, It feels strange to begin with, but find it not just refreshingly different, but it really helps you to benefit from the driving experience, each of them more to the direct steering. The touchscreen is easy to utilize, if the little slow to react on earlier cars, and even though we never struggled to seek out the function aircon, satnav, audio there we were after, having some physical buttons and knobs makes it easier. Similarly, the unusual driving position won't suit everyone. Many people find it off-putting looking within the wheel to discover the speedo and anti-clockwise sweeping rev counter. Updates in 2017 brought a responsive screen, which assists to cut down the amount of frustrating jabs and missed button pushes. We hoped the facelifted 308 probably have adopted the 3008's slightly increased variety of physical switches. Even so, the majority on the controls remain virtual. Uplifted to cabin. The main addition to the sportiest 308 is yards of red stitching. It's about the seats, the entrance cards, the gearshift gaiter along with the floor mats. It's even stitched in the rubber for the dashboard. Switching to sport mode makes all the instrument panel and dash elements go red, and in addition unlocks the ability to show power, turbocharger boost and torque output in real time. There's a force meter too, so that you can see how much grip the auto is generating while cornering quickly. Good balance of comfort and handling. Pliant suspension soaks in ruts and bumps firmer edge to T. However comfy, we were impressed from the Peugeot 308 with regards to comfort, whether stuck in a very traffic jam or tackling a non-stop 3-hour drive for the airport. Front seats have manual adjustment. There may be the option of electrically powered control, as well as the steering wheel is adjustable for both rake and reach, in order that enabled us to locate a comfortable position easily. The unusually small diameter leader in position does feel odd in the beginning, however, you quickly become accustomed to it, plus the direct feel and quick response is extremely enjoyable. The centrally mounted screen from the dash can be angled for the driver, rendering it even easier to watch. Also, considering that the touchscreen controls the vehicle's central functions, there are hardly any buttons visible, so no clutter to tire up your eyes as you search to the control you're after. Peugeot has provided a terrific compromise between ride comfort and handling. Over rough, city roads, the suspension does a superb job of absorbing the dips and bumps, in support of the very large potholes deliver a difficult knock for the car. Out on twisty roads, enthusiastic cornering has the vehicle turning with alacrity and holding a stable line by having a bend, even at speed. Firmer GT version. A few differences to note regarding comfort here. The GT features lowered suspension and larger wheels versus the mainstream 308, however it still rides well, leaning more towards cornering performance than outright comfort. Whether you choose petrol or diesel power, a synthesized engine noise is played with the speakers inside the car if you press the Experience button. It's quite loud and sounds odd inside the diesel version. The 308 follows Peugeot's usual trim level hierarchy with 6 distinct trim levels. Standard Peugeot 308 hatchback equipment access and tray level specification is included with LED day running lights and tail lamps, 15-inch steel wheels, air conditioning, electric front windows, remote control, central locking, cruise control with speed limiter, DAB radio, Bluetooth and USB connectivity. Peugeot 308 active Nextron. Inside the 308 ladder adds 16-inch quartz alloy wheels, dual-zone climate control, rear parking sensors, visibility pack with automatic lights and wipers, plus an auto-dimming rear-view mirror, Nappa leather covering with the steering wheel and gear knob, 9.7-inch multimedia touchscreen with satnav, driver's seat lumbar adjustment. Peugeot 308 Allure mid-range. Allure ramps the kit roster a little more forward with 17-inch Rubus alloy wheels, 16 inches within the 1.6 Bluetooth 120 full LED headlamps with front fog lamps, parking sensors, front and rear electrically folding door mirrors, electronic parking brake. Peugeot 308 GT line. First from the sport-themed 308's adds 18-inch diamond alloy wheels, twin exhaust pipes, dark and rear privacy glass, scrolling front indicators, LED front fog lamps, a reversing camera, red stitching for that interior. Peugeot 308 GT. More power and equipment here. Larger air intakes inside the front bumper, lower ride height 7 mm at leading, 10 mm for the rear. Driver Sport Pack, keyless entry and start. Driver assistance pack with adaptive cruise control. Autonomous emergency braking kit by Peugeot. Sport, the flagship in the 308 range, adds to your GT specification with AGT-specific body kit with red accents, ride height lowered by 11 mm, all-round 19-inch carbon alloy wheels, Torsen limited slip differential, cruise control, AGT-specific bucket seats, aluminum look pedals and door sills, optional. Peugeot 308 hatchback extras. There's the most common mix here of metallic paint and different alloy wheel sizes and designs to pick from. Also, according to which trim you ultimately choose, there may be the option to select certain extras, for instance a panoramic sunroof, reversing camera and parking sensors. Full 5-star Euro NCAP crash test rating, lots of passive and active safety systems, autonomous safety kit and driver assistance pack. Buyers needs to be reassured about Peugeot 308 safety levels on account of an extensive choice of both passive and active systems, which helped the auto to achieve a complete 5-star rating during its round of tests with Euro NCAP. There would be the usual comprehensive selection of airbags, including driver, passenger and side ones, plus systems designed to aid avoid an accident from the first place, including anti-lock brakes, system to optimize braking effort and effectiveness, and electronic stability control to aid prevent the auto going into a skid. From 2017, Peugeot made its claw effect rear lights standard equipment, which might be always on just like the daytime running lights at leading, adding style and leading you to more visible too. A driver assistance pack can be offered with adaptive cruise control, emergency collision alert and foot brake, blind spot monitoring, traffic sign recognition, plus a 180-degree reversing camera. The adaptive cruise control function also gained a braking feature as part with the 2017 overhaul. The blind spot monitoring works well, warning anytime a car is alongside, but even though it isn't visible with your wing mirror. The collision alert and foot brake work together to detect whether a motor vehicle in front is way too close and inside. First instance offers audible and visual warning, that's the alert bit to your driver to get started on to brake. If there isn't a braking or you cannot enough and also a collision is imminent, then this system applies the brakes automatically. For a hatchback, it possesses a big boot, rear passenger room is adequate, lots of storage space from the cabin. Practicality is certainly one area the place that the Peugeot 308 really impresses, which has a big boot and lots of interior storage, including a cooled glove box and larger door bins which could take single 5-liter water bottle. The central console features a sliding cover to show a cup holder that could be swiveled out from the way to help you stash wallets and phones. It sounds okay, the theory is that, but usually it's poorly fitted and awkward to have at. Plus there exists a USB and aux connection, having a small shelf directly in the centrally mounted touchscreen that's well suited for iPods and MP3 players. The rear seats also have very clear ISOFIX attachment points, so it must be straightforward to install 2 compatible child seats within the back. There's nothing unusual to make note of about the 308's dimensions. It slots comfortably to the family hatchback market alongside similarly sized rivals just like the Ford Focus and Vauxhall Astra. The large boot measures 470 liters, significantly larger as opposed to Ford Focus along with the VW Golf. Plus, the 6040 split rear seats is usually folded by pressing some control to boost luggage space to simply over 1,300 liters.